Hi guys, it's Carissa here from Before You Renovate with the, are you the big boss or the little boss?
Little boss.
The little boss? This is my youngest son, Donnie. Him and his brother in the office with me today. So he really wants to jump on. But you know what? I wanted to give you a prime example of life as a working mum. And this is what happens. They're going to jump on the podcast with me. So before we start and kick off today's topic, I want to make sure you guys, whichever platform you're watching this on, whether you're watching it on our YouTube channel as a video or you're listening to it, so you can't see Adoni currently pulling faces at the camera because he's looking at himself. You might listen to it as a podcast. So if you're listening to us on audio, fantastic. Make sure you subscribe so you get notified every time we're putting a podcast up. Now, if you want to see this so you can actually see what I'm doing, some of the sessions I've been actually writing something on paper and holding the paper up. So if you want to actually see it to get the visual, and you can see Donnie on this episode, you're welcome to jump on our YouTube channel Before You Renovate and have a look. And again, you can subscribe from there. So today we're going to talk a bit more about the value of knowing who you need to have around you and why that is so important. So what professionals, who do you need to have in your back pocket that's going to help you get the right information to know your numbers correctly before you renovate? Now, I'm going to keep saying this. The point of these sessions, these tutorials, these podcasts, the value I'm giving is to help you equip yourself with the right tools before you renovate. Okay, whatever the case is, whether you are buying a house and you want to renovate to live in, whether you are buying a house and you want to renovate to flip it, whether you're buying a house and you want to renovate to rent it, whether you've owned a house and you want to renovate to make it your dream home, you're already in the house and you want to renovate to now sell it, or you've got an investment property and you want to renovate to sell it or to re-rent it. So there's so many ways and avenues and so many reasons for why you might decide that you need to renovate. The point I want to make is do the right planning, the right due diligence, the right strategy and structure before you renovate. Hence why I chose the name Before You Renovate. So, I don't even know if you. What I want to talk about, this is episode 3. We have talked about the first week, our first episode was about how to plan your property journey. What's your goal? What do you want to achieve? And knowing where your journey is going to be. Okay. That was really, really crucial. So if you haven't listened and watched episode 1, jump back there first. I went right from the very beginning to understand where you want to go, to open your eyes to what's your journey. Let's just not jump at step 10. We need to go back to step 1. So is it that you're trying to build a portfolio? Is it that you've got property, but you want to see is there more value you can get from that to further build? Are you wanting to sell some things off in order to invest somewhere else? Are you wanting to purchase your first investment or your first property or do your first flip? So what's the purpose? What are you trying to do with your property journey? So we talked about that in episode 1. And then last week we talked more about how to work out your value. So those first 2 episodes are so crucial. And each week I'm going to bring you another episode with more and more concepts for you to think about that can transform the way you see your property, the way you think about property, the way you plan your future in property, and the way you execute your plans in your property. And maybe it's the case of even actually executing. I know way too many landlords that just let their properties sit there and just keep rolling over. And there's so much value they're missing out on. So make sure that you know where you want to go. You've done a snapshot of your journey right now, where you are, where you want to be, and what's the gap. Okay? Now, why I want to go into this is because, again, before you renovate, before you buy, before you sell, before you re-rent, you need to ask valuable questions. You need to know who's going to be around you and what are you actually doing, saying, how long do you research for, all of the in and outs, because that pre-research will help you determine what budget, what work you do, who's your ideal client. Is it your ideal buyer like this? Is your ideal tenant like this? What type of family? Now, tell you why this is so crucial, because different cultures mean different things that they want. So you need to know so much about your market. And if you really want to nail this on the head, you need to really understand the depth, the demographic, the type of culture, how many people. There's so much there. Then you know what way you need to target your strategy in your transformation so you get the majority of people in that area. Okay? So really, really important. Now, let's go to start at step one in this topic. Now, we're talking about whether you're buying or you already own the property. You need to have in your back pocket at least 3 sales agents that you can easily talk to, that you can ask questions about, that will help you when you need help, that you know are going to give you the actual case and not talk shit just to try to get a sale, that are going to tell you the right information, that you can build a connection with. Now, why I say 3 is because depending where and depending what you're trying to do with your property, one person may not give you that direct information, or one person may not have the experience in that suburb to someone else. So start going to open homes, start getting to know some of the people in the area. A good agent will network with anyone because they never know when that person's going to buy, sell, and so forth. So if they know that you want to get more in the property game, great, start networking, arrange to have a coffee with them, talk to them, pick their brain, understand the area, understand whether you've already got a property or you want to buy in that area, understand what people are like, understand the demographic, the culture. There's a whole range of things, and in our workshops, I'll go in more detail of this, but understand more about your area, whether it is a property you want to buy in that area or property you already own and you want to capitalize on it more. So 1, sales agents, get to know some sales agents, know who's doing the best. Now, there's also a difference on the volume compared to the top dollar. So look at both. Who's doing the most amount of volume and who's also doing the highest prices, because that can be two different types of agents. And again, we'll go through that in detail in another episode. There's a whole category around types of agents. So understand the ones in your area, get to know a few, be on their radar, okay? Then you want to also get to know if you're in the rental space, or even if you're down the track going to be in the rental space, get to know some property managers. So again, jump into 3. But you don't want to really know the juniors. You don't want to know the young ones that don't really have a lot of experience. You want to know the senior property managers. You want to know the ones that you jump on the website of that real estate and they've been there for 10 years, 15 years. The ones that you can tell know their shit. So start working on how you can connect with them. How can you get around them? So when you have a property, you can easily go, hey, can you tell me what the rental will be? You want to have people that you can connect with and build relationships with, that when you have a question, they'll give you the right answer. When I say the right answer, they'll give you an honest answer. Not that they're giving you an answer that's going to sway you in a way that's going to work good for them or not. When you get to know someone, they'll give you the first bit of the right advice that's going to work for you, not for them. Not so much for them. So get to know some people that you can really network with. Then you want to be knowing, if you don't already have a great accountant, you want to get a really, really good accountant. One that's really going to help you understand your money, help you understand your returns, your tax benefits, everything around that, and help you with what's going to work for your property and not. And further through that, it may even work talking to a financial planner to see where you can and can't do things. What deposit will you need? How can you work on this? When you leverage off that? If you have equity in that, what can you do and understand? Then you go to the next step of getting a good broker. So when something comes up, if you build enough equity in your current property and then you want to work out, can you leverage off that to buy something else? You want to be ready. You want to be ready. So have your mortgage broker, get to know that person, get to know 3 of them, and then select the one that you like the most. What's the time frame of getting funding? What's your funds at the moment? What's your interest rate at the moment? Get to know what deposit amount will you need. Get to know what you need to do so you're planned. You're ready to go. Most important thing. And look at, especially if it's a rental, do you have equity? Do you have funding to be able to top it up? So why grab 50K out of your pocket to fund your reno if you've got it in equity? So understanding that, and again, in future episodes and in our workshops, we'll go in deeper on that, but understand what's going to work for you and not. And that's where it's important also talking to your accountant. So you understand where you can get benefit from and the financial planner to help you with what's going to work to leverage off what. So you've got to have the right amount of professionals around you. Then you need to have a really good either designer, builder, handful of trades, consultant, if you're talking to someone more strategic like us, which hits our refurb to invest company, where you can directly get consulting and get blueprints. Now, not saying anything, this is not anything about working directly with us, but understanding someone who knows strategy, which is why I've got the Before You Renovate workshops. So if you're wanting to learn, if you're wanting to learn how to be strategizing your own, the workshops will be perfect for that. But if you need a step further, you can reach out to us for some one-on-one consulting. And if you want someone to plan it for you, you can jump to Refurb to Invest with the number 2. That's our sister company, also founded by myself. We actually started that company 8 years ago, and that was off the back of doing my own properties that I wanted to then close the gap of people that were selling and had investment properties, but no one was showing them how to increase their equity, strategically transform them to make more profit, but to do it for them. So we would plan the strategy for that property, tailored to that property, and then run the whole project for them. So Before You Renovate is the skill we've learned for 8 years in Refurb to Invest, is now bringing that into workshops for people that want to do it themselves, not have us do it. So what I am letting you guys know about is make sure that if it's not us, you've got someone that knows strategy, knows the in and out of renovating, and that's not always a trade. So just understand that you want to have a panel of trades, but not always will they give you the right advice if they don't know about adding value. A tiler won't always tell you what's going to add value to the property in tiling. They're going to tell you what's great and easy to tile, what's going to work and not work for tiling. Same with, the painter. Doesn't mean the painter's color choice is the one you should use that's going to wow your majority of buyers or renters. So make sure you've got a strategist on your side, or look at doing our workshops so you can follow exactly what you should and shouldn't do. What are the trends? What are the best colors? What's the best things that people are looking for with rental? What are the best things people are looking for a sale? What to consider when you're planning your renovation? So all of those things, we're going to have such a range of mini quick workshops that are going to be so amazing. I've purposely been tailoring them to mini things. So if you don't need a whole big course, I don't want to sell you more than what you need. I want you just to grab the kitchen part, or grab how to manage trades part, or how to manage your budget, or how to know what you should do if you want to rent it, and what you should do if you want to sell it. I want to grab little bits that you can easily train in a day or two, understand your concepts, and then run at executing it and knowing how to do it for your own. That's where these workshops are going to be. So I can't wait to get them out and running to you guys very, very soon. So you need to know which professionals are on your side that are going to just help you. Okay, so we just talked about sales agents, property managers, accountants, financial planners, brokers, and a really, really good consultant. Now, if it's rental, the other one you need is a really great, amazing depreciation schedule at the end of the work. So you need a good quantity surveyor company. Now, I recently learned a bit more about this because we have a fantastic company that we recommend to our clients. But what I did learn is there is companies that do them cheaper online. But what you need to understand, and this goes across anything can be cheaper, but what's the value of what they're delivering? What's the level of detail they go into? Because when you're doing it for rental, whatever you're investing, you're then able to claim a depreciation on everything you've put in. Now, this is not something usually that your accountant can do. You need to get a depreciation schedule done. Now, to do that, you need a quantity surveyor. So they will gather all your costing. They will estimate things that you may not have costing on, and they'll put together a report that allows you to depreciate so much every year. You give that report to your accountant and you claim the tax benefits. But you want to make sure the company that's doing it for you is detailed enough to do your figures correctly. Make sure they're doing your figures correctly, because where you might save $100 on the report cost, they may lose you a few grand a year on the depreciation, or a grand a year on the depreciation if it's not done in detail. So just make sure you do your due diligence on the right company, or send a message to us and we'll let you know who we recommend and who I use for my own properties. So a quantity surveyor. Now that just starts to give you an idea of the type of people you need to have around you, just so you've got them ready to go. Then you definitely want your trades. You want a good plumber, a good tiler, a good sparky, a good builder. If you're doing this yourself and you want to be able to manage this yourself, you need to have those contacts. So the best part is getting to know people. Now, there's a mix on this. So when I first started my first company, Refurb to Invest, I want recommendations. When we, in that company, we would design the strategy and then we would run it. So we were building and recruiting a panel of trades that knew what I wanted, how I wanted it, and how quick I wanted it, and would give my clients discounts. So I went through a whole recruitment process. And again, this will be one of our courses, how to recruit the trades that are working for you and will be there for you when you need it, and do what you need as you need it and not stuff you around. So we're going to do a recruiting trades workshop. So what I did was I was recruiting. I had a whole process on what I did, what I asked, what I looked at, what specific questions, and what I did in order to then get them onto work. Now, if you're going into doing this as a one-off, it's a little bit harder to get, you'll get good trades, but it's a little bit harder to pitch to them. It's a sales pitch. You've got to say to these trades in order for them to give you the best value and deliver that service that you actually deserve, that unfortunately some trades don't deliver on. So you need to factor out the shitty ones, excuse my language, but the ones that are not going to work, and the ones that see potential in growth with you. Now, if you're looking at getting into property, or you're looking at selling one of your current ones and then buying something else, and you think, look, in the next 12 months, I'm going to probably have 2, 3, 4 properties I'm going to do this to, then use that as your leverage when you're chatting to them, because they know they're getting regular work. They know they're getting volume. They know they're getting more work. Every trade will build a connection if they know there's potential for more. If you're a one-off and one-off only, it's really easy to go, yeah, I'll do it, and then, well, if I don't finish it, or if I get an extra week, well, it's only that one job. So you want to position it right so you don't have that. My projects, if my trades tell me a date they're not there, we'll watch it. If they tell me they're going to do it in a week and it takes them 2 weeks because they've not been on site, they get cut. And they lose the potential of a lot of work because we give them so much work with all the clients we work with. So really important to know across everyone you're talking to, what do you say? How do you say it? What's your sales pitch to them? Okay. Really, really important. Yeah, buddy. I know it is nighttime. So you tell me, what does mummy do? Mummy goes to houses. Does she renovate them?
Wait. We're going to Godzilla house.
Oh, Godzilla house. Does Godzilla have a house? Wow. Okay. Right. Well, let's pretend we're going to Godzilla's house, and we're telling people what they need to do before they renovate Godzilla's house. How they're going to do it so they can save money. How they're going to do it so they get the best return. And who are the people? Who are the people that they need to talk to do their right due diligence? Now, I want to run through one other thing with this. It's really important. This is why I said have multiple people, because it's really, really important to make sure that the person giving you that advice is giving you the best advice. So if a sales agent tells you to just sell it right now and you know it's not looking amazing, then that's not an agent you want to be speaking to. If you're talking to a property manager who says, no, it's fine, leave it as it is, and you're looking at it going, I wouldn't live here, then that's not the property manager that you want. So you want to make sure that you listen to the right people. There's always value in property. Property is a business. If it's done right and it's done strategically, knowing what you should and shouldn't do, you'll make more money. but you need to speak to the right people. And please be wary that a lot of property managers start young and not all of them understand
Excuse me,
equity.
Mom.
Listen.
You guys want to talk. So we need to go now.
Okay. Not all of them understand equity. So if you're talking to a property manager who's younger, and they may, and this is not anything against younger property managers, but a lot of them start in property management quite young, and they're great at their managing the property, they're great at the rental, understand the value of the rent, but they may not understand the whole equity uplift and the value add when that's not part of their job. So they don't always understand what they could or couldn't do, and they don't always own property when they're at a young age. So their experience in the property management space is purely on the rent, the outgoings, managing the tenant, and so forth. So make sure when you're asking more questions, speak to more of a senior property manager, someone who understands the whole property journey, not just that little bit of the property management. And I think sometimes landlords expect that the property manager knows a bigger grand than what they do. They're not even meant to know renovations. They know maintenance. They don't know renovations. They're not meant to be running renovations. So just make sure that you understand who you're talking to and have that panel of professionals on your side that you know that at any point you can talk to. So when you start going through what's your journey, what are you trying to achieve, where are you at, and then going through, okay, what's my next steps? How do I work out my potential? And then who do I speak to understand more before you then start going, okay, now let's plan our strategy. Let's plan our transformation, right? And we're going to bring you more and more about this each week. Now, guys, I would love to know your feedback on this. Obviously, like I said, I'm just right now doing this for fun, just to give you guys some content, get you guys thinking, opening your mind up. But I do want to be getting, I will be getting some workshops up soon, which will just be a far lot more detailed than what these are. These are just, I'm just giving you some insights. But I would love to know, is this valuable for you? Is this making sense? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you getting good information from this? Are you getting good value? Please like, comment, share, pass it on to your friends, pass it on to people that might help. It's all about getting awareness to help people before they renovate. Look, I want to close the gap of bad experiences with renovating. That's my goal. I recently saw a post from some of the Reno group pages that I'm on, and there was about 3 or 4 I saw in a matter of a couple of weeks of people saying, yay, finally finished my reno. Geez, it took me 2 years. It was the worst experience of my life. I'll never renovate again. Now, what saddens me with that, so what's happening is they're getting bad trades, they're getting over budgets, variations, things dragging out and having just a really bad experience. But why that saddens me more so is because the few posts I saw were people that were renovating to sell. So renovating to make profit. They're turned off doing renovations again. That means they'll never do that again. And they'll never then utilize the property space to further build their portfolio or build more profit from property. So that's sad because there is so much potential in property as a business. So my goal, which is why I do this, which is why I've built Refurb to Invest, which is why I'm doing Before You Renovate, is to close the gap of people trying to renovate and having bad experiences. Let's close that gap. Let's make renovating fun. Let's make renovating worthwhile. Let's make it breezy. Let's make it strategic. Let's make it mapped out. I want to give you all the skills and tools to know what to do, when to do, what to do today, what to do tomorrow, what to say, who to call, when to say that, when to do this, when to pay that, what order things should be in. I want to equip you with so much that you guys will just be renovation experts, and we'll have a big renovation expert group of us all having a good chat. So guys, that's it from me for this week. As you can tell, I love what I do. I'm so passionate about it. I just want to keep sharing it with you guys more and more. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, podcast on Spotify and our YouTube channel. Jump on to Before You Renovate on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to follow Refurb to Invest, you can do that too. Know that if you don't want to be doing this yourself, you can jump on and we get our consultants to actually do it for you. So it's a different type of strategy. But we're here to make sure we can help you. That's what I'm here to do. Guys, love you and leave you guys. this is me signing off. Donnie, do you want to say bye, buddy? He's a bit upset. He really wants to go to the park, and I promised him during the day, and it's now nighttime. So, guys, say bye-bye, everyone. I'll speak to you guys next week. Ciao for now.